Old Man Winter keeps pushing his weight, putting off an historic grand opening fate. Maybe a bummer, but softball is hot as an August day in summer. This week, our pot runneth over with stories from the voice of the Griffins to an emotional return to glory. GSI is back for one more go, so sit back and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Griffin Sports Insider, CBS's midseason replacement for 2.5 Men. Winning,
he says. Actually, this is our season finale. One final show for the season. I'm going to get emotional, I think, before we go into reruns. You know you've arrived when you go into reruns.
That's
just
right.
Like Leave It to Beaver.
We're syndicated now. GSI may be winding down, but Western softball just starting to heat up. The Griffins entered this week with a 13-3 record. They are now ranked 20th in the Division II nation. They've also yet to play a home game. Now, the Griffins' success springs from power and pop. Western averaging 6 runs a game. They've hit 23 home runs as a team, and they have 3 players batting 400 or more. That will get you nationally ranked, of course. Coach Jen Bagley, though, still feels the best is yet to come.
The top 25 poll is, to me, it's a compliment. Because at the end of the day, it is a popularity poll, and it really doesn't mean anything in terms of where we are in the region, how we're going to make postseason or anything like that. It's just basically it's recruiting material. And although it's nice to get the recognition, it doesn't change a lot at this point, other than I'll be sending out recruits a bunch of stuff. That's about it.
But do you feel like you're one of the top 20 teams in the nation the way you've played so far?
No, I don't. I'm not saying that I don't think that we have a good team. I just, at this point in the season, I see all the things that we have yet to get better doing. And so at this point, it's early. I just still feel like it's too early to really have that kind of confidence.
Now, that being said, talk about your offense, tattooing the ball. I know you said earlier in the season, we'd be a grinded out type of team. Doesn't look like that right now. No,
I feel like an idiot. If someone had told me that this is what our offense was capable of earlier in the year, I would have been very surprised, and am surprised. Pleasantly surprised, but I think, for the most part, our hitters are making good choices at the plate, and I think that, it's just paying off.
Is it feasible and realistic to think that you can sustain what you're doing?
I think that, yes and no. I think that kind of has to be a mental approach we take with the team, too, to just keep it real and realize what's happening right now is crazy, but that we can survive without 9 runs a game. To be where we are right now and the start we've had is great. Now the thing is, we can't rest on our laurels. We have to keep pushing and keep getting better because conference is right around the corner.
Home opener rained out last week, so Western's first scheduled home game won't be until April 4th. Griffin baseball, though, still looking for that elusive first home game as well.
And it's right around the corner. We'll talk with head coach Buzz Verduzco when we come back.
The best thing about this facility is the worst thing. Everyone wants to use it.
Oh, not again. I don't understand why they didn't put a basket in here. Where are the baskets in here?
It's good. We can make our own history.
Western baseball enjoying practice on the new field. The next goal, to actually play a game on the new field. Welcome back. The Griffins have done okay away from home so far, especially in MIAA play.
Western's jumped out to a 5-3 record in the conference. That's after taking 3 of 4 at Missouri Southern and going 2-2 at Lincoln. And joining us right now is head Griffin baseball coach Buzz Verduzco. And Buzz, we've played 8 conference games so far. We've played all 8 of them on the road, and I think if you look at it, we're 5-3. It's hard to win on the road, but I think you felt last weekend's series at Lincoln, we split, but I think you felt like it maybe could have been a little bit better.
It did. I thought, we might have went into Lincoln thinking maybe the opponent might be a little different than probably what we should have. We still pitched very well. We still played solid defense for the most part, and that kind of kept us in the games we did win. But we still haven't offensively, even up to this point, whether it's conference or overall, really haven't hit the ball like we can. So for us to kind of be in a position right now at 5-3, we're okay with that as we get going. But you know, the teams are, you know, tough in this league, and so as we get going, it doesn't get any easier. So we got a challenge ahead. You mentioned hitting. You got 4 players rather consistently in your lineup that are hitting over 300. But as a team, just 244. I think that disappoints you early on, doesn't it? You know, it does, and we kind of have a team that's a little bit more of, I guess you can say, a platoon team. And so anytime you have a platoon-type roster or lineup, so to speak, it becomes tougher for a kid to kind of get into a groove. And we have a primarily dominant left-handed hitting group, and so because of it, you know, you kind of play matchups a little bit sometimes depending on, you know, who's kind of hot and who's not, but it doesn't give any continuity, you know, over the overall lineup itself.
That goes back to the identity question I asked you a few weeks ago. Are you platooning until you find an identity, or is the platoon your identity? Well, I don't think the platoon's our identity yet. I still think there's some jobs in there to be won. I think that'll make us more consistent, I think, throughout the course of the year. And so right or left, we're really trying to find out which guys on a consistent basis can be in there every day to give us the best chance. How about being at home now? You've got to practice a little bit on that home field. Still haven't played a home game, but that's coming up this weekend. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. It is, yep. And you know, Central Missouri rolls in. So if you're gonna play a home opener, I guess you play the best. And so you know, we have to be at our best. And so you know, we're excited for that. The whole thing about, you know, home opener, first time ever in school's history, you know, as far as a pitch thrown on campus, and we're excited for that. The players are excited. But we do have our work cut out because you have the best team in the league coming in. We talk about parks being a hitter's park. We talk about parks being a pitcher's park. What type of park do you think the Griffin Springs Sports Complex is going to be? Well, if you talk to our hitters, they definitely say it's definitely a pitcher's park. I mean, it's a park that I can't say it's as big as the old Phil Welch. Well, nothing can get bigger than 440 to straightaway center. No, no, exactly. But it's still it's got big dimensions. Basically. It's got big dimensions. The gaps are very big, and so. What are they down the lines? It's 335 down the lines. It's 385 to 380 in the gaps, and 400 to center. So it does play big, and you know, we'll see how it all works out. Okay, Buzz, I think you're going to be pretty good at this. This is a segment we call Easley's Impromptu. I ask you 4 questions. They may be baseball related, they may not be, and you just answer them the best you can. Okay. Okay? Pretty simple. Or just pass on them. Either way. Don't pass. No one's passed all year. Don't let him fool you. Favorite tradition about the game of baseball? Peanuts. Peanuts, he says. Okay. Beautiful. Along the lines of baseball, if things break right for this team this year, how good can we be? I think we can be a high 20 win team. I can't say we're going to win over 30, but I think a high 20 wins. Possibly if we offensively get to the point where we can really swing the bat, we're going to be okay. So high 20s. Buzz Verduzco's dream vacation spot is, maybe you've already taken it, I don't know. Pass. Oh, you can't pass. We haven't had a passer all year. When's the last vacation you've taken? You know, I'm not a vacation guy, so I can't really say there's a place. But somewhere warm, I tell you the truth, Arizona. Arizona. Okay. Arizona. I like that. The state of Arizona. And finally, finish this statement. Due to the high gas prices, I will ride my bike to work. Thank you very much. That was a Buzz Verduzco answer. And that's a Schwinn bike, too. Yes. That's right. Good luck this weekend against Central Missouri. Look forward to you playing at home. That's Buzz Verduzco. We'll be right back.
Basketball.
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 It's a dance.
$40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes of pure emotion. It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffin.
And welcome back. Missouri Western Golf tees off its season this week.
You know, this is a story we first brought you in the fall. For the Griffin men's top player, an emotional comeback to the course has now come full circle. Shane Feist never asked to be Western's top golfer. He just is. He's just that good.
He's really playing well.
I feel great.
But nowadays, even the bad days of golf are still good days.
It's just a game. I mean, you'd like to do your best, but, you know, there's a lot worse things that could be going on.
Feist has already won a fight no 21-year-old should ever have to fight.
It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
It was the summer of 2009. Shane Feist was playing the best golf of his life. He was the Griffins' #1 golfer and had just won the North Dakota State Amateur Competition. Then his life would change.
A couple weeks after I got home for the summer, I found a lump, and I didn't think much of it. And I kind of looked it up online, and you're like, there's no way this is happening.
Shane Feist was never told he had testicular cancer. He didn't have to hear the words.
We all kind of assumed and knew what we were looking at. My parents didn't, but I did, and my doctor did. And I remember my mom came home from work after I saw the first doctor appointment. She came home from work, and I had to tell her, and she called my dad, because I couldn't even call him. So.
Within 3 days, he was at the Mayo Clinic. The cancer was caught early. The prognosis was good. Feist was given an 85% chance of survival. He took last year off from school to stay home in North Dakota, where he underwent 2 surgeries and 4 rounds of chemotherapy.
And then after each cycle, you just kept getting more tired and tired and tired.
Shane Feist never asked, why me?
I didn't let myself think about that, because anytime I would think about what if I don't make it, or why did this happen to me, I felt like it was just going to hurt my chances of making it, because it made me weaker. So I didn't allow myself to think about that. The only thing I allowed myself to think about was beating it.
A year later, things are back to normal. Feist is back to his old form on the course, finishing in the top 5 of 2 events this fall. He says he wants to be an All-American this spring. Last year, Shane Feist didn't know if he'd be in this position. Now that he's back, he'll approach golf and life the same way he approached the fight he's already won.
Try to stay positive, lean on your family, try not to think about what the end result could be, but think about what you want it to be.
Western Golf is in Springfield this week. Feist enters the season as Western's #1 golfer.
Missouri Western Tennis has the week off. Griffins are now 1-1 in MIAA play after dropping a match to Emporia State last week. Australian Nicole Robertson was a bright spot in defeat. She won her match in a tiebreaker. Coach Ron Selkirk says Robertson has the potential to be his best player. She's currently playing #3 singles.
Griffin football coaches play chef for a day for a good cause. Western defensive coordinator Reggie Trotter put his culinary talents to the test in the UCP Chili Challenge at the Civic Arena. This event raised more than $120,000 for United Cerebral Palsy. Trotter has entered his Griffalicious chili recipe, his name for it, not mine, in this event for 5 years now. He's placed a few times but never won. He didn't win again this year. And don't think he doesn't take losing seriously.
John Garvey in the high-ho.
Are you kidding me?
That's pretty good.
How many people came by here and said this is the best chili? There was a lot of people came by here and said this is the best chili.
Exactly.
East, you're cooking chili next year. I'm done. It's a wrap. You're going home.
Okay, so can you even cook?
Oh, come on now. You might need the Tums and the Maalox when I'm done, but I can cook chili with the best of them.
Okay, well,
just ask my wife and son.
Okay, I will. And you got to
they probably
enter
give
it
you an
next
honest answer too.
Which would be probably not.
Probably not.
This is the last show of the season. Tonight, a special spotlight on someone who's been with Griffin Athletics from almost the very beginning.
For more than 35 years, Bob Orff has been the soundtrack for Western Athletics. Missouri Western's Nick McCutcheon has more on the voice of the Griffins.
Now you question every game you have left.
For 35 years, one thing has remained constant for Missouri Western Athletics.
The kick. Oh, it's long enough. It's long enough.
Since 1975, Bob Orff has lived out his childhood dream as the Griffins' version of Jack Buck.
40 and you went 4 and out. That's not good. I grew up in St. Louis and I listened to Harry Carey and Jack Buck do Cardinals games forever. And I used to sit, I listened on the radio. I was like, oh my gosh, those guys sound like they're really having fun. I was a Cardinal fan and everything. And I always wanted to do that.
It's time, a deep ball, wide open, number 7. He's going to go for a touchdown.
While he hasn't seen any holy cows, Orff has coined his share of phrases.
Shoot that thing. That was when we beat Southern. Hey, like them apples. We beat Washburn in a double overtime game. I know that the Mo West does not suck against Northwest. He's got a lot of different ones, but he certainly is a fan on the radio.
The voice of the Griffins, Mr. Bob Orff. Bob.
For his achievements off the field, Orff was honored as a 2010 inductee into the Missouri Western Athletics Hall of Fame.
It was just really cool. You do something that you like to do, and then enough people on the outside look at this and go like, we need to do something and honor this guy. When they do that, and the culmination of that to go in an athletic hall of fame is just really cool. Still can't quite believe it, and I keep kidding Zach Workman. Go like, are you going to have a vote and take this back, maybe where I have to give the ring back or something? It's really cool, though. It's really an honor.
Some careers are concluded with Hall of Fame inductions, but Orff isn't ready to hang up the headset just yet. Any retirement plans?
Win the lottery. If you have a ticket you don't need, give it to me. No. Hopefully, eventually, you know, someday. You always want to, people say in this business, you want to retire and do it at the right time. You just as soon not let somebody tell you, you know, might be time for you to retire. Nobody wants to do it that way. You'd like to do it in your own terms. Hopefully not too many more years.
Well, a year ago at this time, thousands of fans packed the St. Joe Civic Arena to see Emporia State hoist the NCAA Women's Basketball Division II National Championship. Next week, we'll get ready to do it all again. Welcome back to GSI. Elite 8 week is quickly approaching, and you know what? You wear a lot of hats, so you're the Elite 8 tournament director, so I can interview you now.
Absolutely.
Talk about next week and what we have.
Well, it's one of my favorite weeks of the year, months of the year. Who doesn't like March Madness? And myself, along with several of my colleagues, you included, I'm happy to say that we're going to host a national championship in our own backyard. Final year of the host, so you know who knows if and when it'll ever come back to St. Joseph. But 8 great women's basketball teams come to town next week to contest for the national championship. Chance, we're going to have a couple of teams that were here last year, another team that's got a little bit of a local flavor that I think most people will recognize, and we're probably going to have at least 5 new teams here as well. So going to be a great week and very affordable to come down and watch.
And one thing about it, too, is you have the Elite 8, the Final 4, and the national championship all in one venue over 3 days. So you get to see all that. But not only the basketball, this really is, we talked about this last week, an event. Just talk about all the events we have going this week.
Well, we try to appeal to not only basketball fans, but folks that may not like basketball will want to come out for another reason. We have a 5K run walk that benefits Camp Quality, the Happy Camper Scamper, in conjunction with KJO 105.5. That takes place Saturday, March 19th on our campus. Jackie Stiles, the all-time collegiate leading scorer in women's basketball history, comes back to the field house for a clinic Thursday, March 24th, 5:30 to 7:30. That's for boys and girls in grades 2 through 6. Absolutely free. The championship game teams will be there signing autographs. A lot of free, great product from Wilson. Each kid gets a free ticket to the championship game that night, or Friday night rather. And then Friday night, the folks at the St. Joseph Metro Chamber of Commerce host a social in the Mardi Gras room at Boudreaux's. That takes place from 5 to 6:45. That is a family welcome event. There will be drinks available for purchase, some free appetizers. And so we've got a social event, we've got a philanthropic event, and then a youth clinic, and not to mention 7 great basketball games as well.
Absolutely. A great week of basketball. And as you said, it's possibly the last year we're going to have it, at least for a while.
Could be. This was a 2-year host, obviously, in St. Joe last year. Emporia State was the national championship here. This year goes to San Antonio, Texas, the next 2 years. So the next available year it would be available to host would be 2014. And right now, nobody's bid on it. It's not been awarded. So take advantage of the national championship this year. We had a lot of great momentum coming off last year's championship. And it's good basketball. If you like basketball, you need to be in Civic Arena March 22, 23, and 25.
You know, that was a lot of information to talk about in 2 minutes. So
I can talk really fast.
You can. You talk really fast. So you can get all the information on our website, gogriffins.com. We'll be back to wrap up the show when we come back.
The best thing about this facility is the worst thing. Everybody wants to use it.
Welcome back to GSI and our final Pick'em segment for the season. Brett Easley, there's really no need for suspense here.
Boy, there's not. No drum roll. What? 24 shows?
We did 24 shows this year.
You won 4 times.
4 times.
That's
so,
not very good.
You know, here's the overall record. You win 152 and 44. I went 131-65. So Eric Stoll
not bad, but it's still domination. Still
for the
domination.
season. You know, I really wasn't too far behind you.
Matriculated it down the
but
field
you
perfectly.
get the jacket like you've worn every week. It's tailor-made
Pink
for
and
you.
black with this. It mixes in well with the sequence.
I've also arranged some more prizes for the Swami King.
Oh my goodness gracious!
You get your Swami hat. You have earned your hat for the year.
The Shriners in town would be proud.
You've earned your hat, and it looks good. It looks good on you. Better you than me.
Maybe I need a nutcracker kilt or something like that.
You know what? I think you're okay with that.
Oh
you're going to get
goodness.
eggheads.
I feel like I won some kind of cheap sweepstakes.
They're just going to keep coming in because, you know, Homer Simpson, you know, you are the king of everything.
That's nice. You know, even though I won, I still feel like I really lost.
Well, that was the whole point of this.
That's what
that was the whole
keep
point.
them coming.
Superman. You are the Superman
What's
of the
next?
year. So, you've got other
about
things.
This lighthouse?
He's just going to keep bringing them in while we talk. This was a really good, fun year.
It was a lot. If I could see
me.
It was a lot of fun. You know what? You're a pro. You do 99% of this work. I just ride your coattails for about a half hour and get showered with all these gifts. But it was a lot of fun.
That was the whole point of it, yes.
And I like that one maybe the best.
You are the Super Swami, and I don't know what that thing is. You can probably scare your son with that, Dax, and then.
Well, I got a coloring book. He'll love that too.
Coloring book
How
with
nice
the
of you.
WB frog.
You are a nice
doesn't
guy.
exist anymore. So.
Oh, and that's my favorite. We can play in the tub with that.
Well,
that's good.
We did 24 shows of this. Thank you. That I do. That's a rubber ducky thing.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us, for being a part of Griffin Sports Insider. We'll be back again in August, come football season. And a very special thank you to two folks who really made this show go. Eric Stoll, I'm getting choked up. Is that terrible?
Eric Stoll crying too.
And Mark Pickerel, who really did
would you
help
like
us
something
a lot.
to dry your eyes?
And you know, Eric, appreciate it. You know, this is actually got Jabba the Hutt.
Thank
I like
you.
that.
Yes.
That's actually old school Star Wars. That's
you.
worth a lot of money. I like that. So that's GSI for the week. We're still going to get showered with prizes with Teletubbies and everything else.
And this thing.
We'll see you again right back here in August. We leave you tonight with a look at the season that was.
As always, go Griffs.
Go Griffs.